Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 329. In this episode, you're going to hear 3 reasons why Alison Rothman is so badass. So, if you missed the last episode, Alison is the founder of Embody Life, and she is a body-centered holistic coach. And in that episode, she shared so many hardships she went through, like recovering from an eating disorder, experiencing a house fire, and then a near-death experience. Craziness, right? How can one person go through so much? So go back, listen to that episode. But today, you're going to hear 3 reasons why Alison Rothman is so badass. Before we get to that episode, I want to talk about a group coaching experience that's coming up on Friday, ordinarytobadass.com/coaching or /coaching. If you want to get in, it's going to be so epic. Coaches have played a huge role in my life. Coaches, mentors, I am all about it because they help you get out of your own head. I don't know about you, I can get into mine pretty easily and move the needle, push you forward, right? So for me, one example is author Jeff Goins. He was a coach for me and he helped me. He suggested doing this podcast. I was terrified to do a podcast. And actually, I had heard other people talking about it, and I was a little bit like, oh, that'd be cool. But I just didn't believe in it for myself until he said, you should start a podcast. And so that gave me the permission. Sometimes we feel like we need permission from somebody else. And here's the thing. It just takes one step. All you have to do is take one step forward. So maybe for me, that first step was just getting permission, right? And then once somebody else suggested that I do it or that I'd be good at it, then that like lit a fire under my butt and I did the next step and the next step. And I want to help you do the same. And let's go into 2024 killing it, right? You will be ahead of the game if you take your first step or your first couple of steps before the new year. ordinarytobadass.com/coaching. I want to have you there. It's going to be epic. Okay, with that, let's get to the episode.
Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Whether you're ordinary or badass, I am so glad you're here. Today, we're going to talk about 3 reasons why Alison Rothman is so badass. Let's just get right into it. So, Alison, the first reason why she's a badass is because of the person she connects with during challenging times. Who's that person? You guessed it. It's herself. Now, we can get so distracted, so busy, we forget to check in with ourselves. And she makes sure to connect with herself on a daily basis. I asked her, what is it that you do? How do you connect with yourself? How do you keep a strong relationship? Words are hard today. How do you keep a strong relationship with yourself during the hard times? And she says, in the morning, she makes sure that she's anchored. And then throughout the day, she'll try to like step away and then touch her body and check in, right? Those are the 2 things. Anchored in the morning, step away and check in throughout the day while touching her body. That sounded a little creepy. Let's keep going. So if you're anchoring yourself in the morning, to me, that's like, I think putting your feet on the ground when you wake up. As soon as you wake up and your feet touch the ground, how can you anchor yourself? Maybe you say, what am I grateful for today? Or, oh my gosh, my feet hit the ground today. I am so grateful. It is going to be a good day. I can't wait to live this day. Can't wait to see what happens or what adventure is around the corner, right? But you say something to anchor yourself. Or maybe it's like a statement. I see this one hair just sticking straight up. We're going with it, people. Anyway, maybe it's like a statement. You put your feet down in the morning when you're getting up and you're like, I am strong, I am powerful, and I am a force to be reckoned with. You come up with some sort of saying for yourself, right? Something to be anchored or rooted in who you are. The second thing she had said was stepping away, touch your body, and then check in. So I always think of, and this is what I do as well, is like put my hand on my chest. And then I tend to shut my eyes and just be like, how am I feeling in my body right now? Where am I feeling tension? Maybe it's your shoulders, roll them out, right? Or maybe you just have like your heart's pounding, right? And you feel this anxiety. Just feel it. Just feel it. Just notice it. Just feel it. Just notice it. It's okay that you're feeling it. We're not trying to change the feeling. We're just trying to pay attention, because so often we stop paying attention and it's easier to like, can I go grab a glass of wine? Can I grab my phone? And what can I do on my phone? Check my email, get on social media, all the things, right? And we forget to check in with ourselves, even though we recognize the symptoms, or we might be like, oh, I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling upset. And then we immediately try to go to something else to distract us, or go spend money, right? That's another thing. Let me just go spend money on a bunch of things. That'll make me feel better. But the thing is it doesn't really make us feel better. So kudos to Alison for taking the time to ground herself, to check in throughout the day, because it's no easy feat, right? And so it's just a habit. It's a practice. It's something you just try to be aware of and do, even if it's just one time a day, right? And after you get in the habit of doing it one time a day, maybe you do it 2 times a day, or kind of build up. You become more aware of it and you're going to notice it more often. Okay, there was a quote Alison said, and I'm going to read it so I don't massacre it, that I really loved, though. I love this quote. So she said, what practices can we do in our lives to keep us connected to a whole range of emotions, experiences that don't numb or distract us? Let me read that one more time. What practices can we do in our lives to keep us connected to the whole range of emotions and experiences that don't numb us or distract us? So think about that. Just think about small practices. Maybe you don't do the grounding technique. Maybe you don't do the step away and do a check-in with your body, but you come up with your own thing, something so that you're noticing how you're feeling. Oh, another thing that Alison had talked about was doing the morning pages. She does the morning pages, 3 pages a day. Julia Cameron, The Artist's Way. That's Julia Cameron's book. Check it out. So good. But that's where the idea of morning pages comes from. But 3 pages in the morning, and you just write whatever's on the top of your mind. That's it. Just anything that comes to your head, and then you get it out. So then it doesn't waste brain space for the rest of the day. And then another thing is meditation, right? You can meditate, even if only for 5 minutes. It's checking in with yourself. It's grounding yourself. It's letting yourself get all the thoughts out of your head, or take a break from the thoughts. That doesn't happen for me as often, but that's okay. So, question for you. If you don't check in with yourself, how will you know what you need? What relationships in your life do you not ever have to check in with that person? I'm going to guess no one. Because if we're not doing check-ins and we're not talking to people, there's no communication. It's going no more, or it's going nowhere. So, why are we more intentional about the relationships around us as opposed to the relationship with ourselves? Take time for yourself. Be intentional about this relationship, the one with you. You're the only you got, and you're stuck with yourself forever, right? So you might as well love yourself. You might as well build a relationship with yourself. Like all of this anger or the self-hatred or the shame that we can feel towards ourselves, the beating ourselves up. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Check in with yourself. Take it from Alison. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, she's been through some hard stuff. House fire, eating disorder, near-death experience, right? but she's not playing the victim role. She's conquering, she's moving forward. She's taking these times, these hardships, and just having it make her stronger. It's like a snowball, right? First, when you make a little snowball, it's tiny, but then like if you keep rolling it, if you keep compacting more snow to it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That's like that's your confidence, right? The more hardship you overcome and you keep moving forward, the snowball keeps getting bigger. You're getting more and more badass and feeling more and more badass. Like you're believing in your badassery, which is huge, right? But it's like, if you could get through the house fire, if you could get through the eating disorder, if you can get through a near life or a near death experience, what can't you get through? So take those things, take those hard things in your life and ask yourself, what can't I get through? If I can do that, what can't I get through? In the last episode, we talked about the 5-minute fast track to badassery, things to remind you of your badassery so that you could create a wall of badassery or a badass timeline to show you, remind you of the badass things you've overcome. If you want to grab that, ordinarytobadass.com/fast, it'll just help you like spark ideas of these hard things you've gone through and then make that snowball bigger, right? Get that confidence up. Help show you all the things that make you really, truly badass. So that's ordinarytobadass.com/fast. Check that out. Well, actually, you should check that out like yesterday because it's pretty stinking cool, if I do say so myself. And then we might even have something later, like a group session where we do our wall of badassery, do a poster and put all the badass things we've done on there with images or something so that we can see it here and there, just to spark joy, to spark fierceness. Yes. Okay, moving on. Okay, so the first reason she's so badass is the person she connects with during challenging times, herself, of course. The number 2, letting go of personal stories. She doesn't hold on to the personal stories that are running on inside of her, that are going on inside of her head, right? She lets them go. She's like, okay, I don't have time for this, because there's always these stories going on in her head. But it's funny because I said I don't have time for this. That's what we usually say, right? But we forget that if we don't have time, it's just still going to keep going on. If we ignore it, it's still going to keep pestering us. So you kind of got to make time for it, right? So what Alison said was she tries to not allow the inner dialogue and the constant storyline that's running through her head. She tries not to let that run the stinking show. Because how often are your thoughts running the show? I'm going to tell you, it's nonstop. For most of us, it's nonstop. I've been working on this the last couple of years, maybe a tiny bit better, but like thoughts are just going on in there, right? It's hard to squash that. But you give a voice to the things that we normally squash, that we normally try to get rid of. And that's huge to give that a voice, because those thoughts, those things don't leave just because we try to push them away, just because we try to reach for the phone, right? Get on social media. That doesn't make all that stuff go away. So we already kind of talked about this part, but she does the morning pages and gets all of her thoughts out of her head and does that. Or she does meditation. Or there's EFT tapping, right? Where you can do that. And that is another way to get things out of your head, especially the things that you're being hard on yourself about, because in EFT tapping, you get to actually talk about those things. Tiffany Rinaldi, who was previously on the Ordinary to Badass podcast, at that time, I don't think she was talking about tapping, but she now has done tapping and teaches that for like wealth creation, for different things. And it's like, you get to actually admit, like, I'm horrible with money and I don't know what to do about it. I'm horrible with money and I don't know what to do about it, right? And you're just tapping, saying those things, actually acknowledging it until you get like a release, or you stop feeling so much I don't know that anger is the right word, but anxiety or upset or shame. And so until you stop feeling those feelings about the things, you just keep tapping them away, right? So I kind of think of it like a kid, right? A little kid, a whiny little kid isn't just going to leave or just stop whining if you ignore that whiny little kid. They're probably going to get louder and more annoying. So the solution then is not to ignore that whiny little kid. It's to acknowledge it. It's to face it. It's to listen. And so if you take some time out and you allot that time just to listening to that whiny little kid in your head, then it frees up your brain for the rest of the day. And you don't have to spend so much time listening to the whiny little kid. It doesn't have so much to say because you actually just sat there and listened. And I think that's the misconception, right? As far as like meditation goes, everybody thinks, I can't think. You're not supposed to think. And I can't get rid of the thoughts in my head. I have too many thoughts in my head. That's never going to happen. Well, guess what? The goal isn't to get rid of the thoughts in your head. If you can be calm and be present and just listen to the sounds, cool, right? But that doesn't always happen. But it's like just taking the time to be there with your thoughts and to be there with yourself and get grounded. That is huge, huge. So don't beat yourself up if you can't get rid of the thoughts. Think of the thoughts in your head like a whiny little kid and really try to embrace it, bring it in, right? Instead of being so hard on that little kid, bring it in and listen to what it has to say. A book that I think is really amazing. Actually, it's my favorite book, The Untethered Soul. And I'll tell you, I kept hearing it recommended and I would pick it up and couldn't read it, just couldn't get myself to read it. And then like I read it and it's absolutely my favorite. Read it a couple times a year, probably about 2 times a year. It's just so stinking good, but it's about the thoughts in your head and how you really do attach to those thoughts and you think that they must be true because you thought it. And you think that makes you a bad person or, you beat yourself up over your thoughts, but it doesn't have to be that way. So that book, Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, but listen to what is being said here. Listen to what Alison Rothman does and letting go of her personal stories. It doesn't have to be such a personal attack, right? Or things that happen to you or that you say in your head don't have to be, we don't have to be so hard on ourselves about them. So you can use meditation, you can use morning pages, you can use EFT tapping to help you let go of the stories in your head. Moving on. Okay, number 3. The third reason why Alison Rothman is so badass is for unshackling the chains of limitation. How often do we feel limited by our circumstances? Are you letting your circumstances hold you back? It's so easy to get stuck in this victim mentality, to be like, oh, my house burned down. I can't do anything. My luck is really crappy, right? Alison could have said that. She could have been upset by that. Or she had a near-death experience. She could have been upset by that, right? And let that take her down. That could literally bury her. Any of those things. Hard situations often feel like that, right? So we can let life sweep us off our feet and take us down, or we can literally let it sweep us off our feet and enjoy it for what it is. Maybe we're just taking everything too seriously. You are not a victim, right? Yes, you can be a victim of a crime or be a victim of something, but overall, in your lifespan as a whole, you get to choose. You get to choose if you want to be a victim or not. That choice is yours. I don't know about you, but that's not how I want to be defined. One thing Alison said that I thought was so powerful was she's like, whenever you're down and out, whenever you're in a bad mood and bad stuff pops up, being hard on yourself, beating yourself up makes it 1,000,000 times worse. It's like, how true is that? When one crappy things happen and we get in our head and we start saying all these bad things, then it's like we just go down this rabbit hole. It's like a spiral, right? And it doesn't stop. So why are we saying these horrible things to ourselves? Why are we doing mean things to ourselves in response instead of just like taking a deep breath and just being with it, right? Or what Alison does. Alison said, okay, when I start to get these thoughts, then I try to pause and say, how can I take care of myself right now? And so she will go and take a bath, right? Or just do something nice for herself, cook herself some good food so she can just take a moment. And she's like, why do we keep punishing ourselves? And this is exactly what we do. We keep punishing ourselves. And I'll tell you a story, a little embarrassing, but here it is. So like I had been doing really good. This was after 75 hard. I was doing good, had been following, and then I like fell off, right? I fell off my diet plan. And then I started punishing myself, like being so mean to myself. And I was just having one of those days where I was just in my head, being mean to myself, going down a spiral. And then this happened when I was meditating, which was really funny, but I was like, go weigh yourself. And because I was upset, I wasn't losing weight as much as I could or as much as I should. And then had that day of not eating right. But like, why would I go weigh myself? If I'm feeling crappy, if I'm not happy with the progress, why would I go weigh myself? Answer: to punish myself, right? Because I wouldn't get the result that I want. And then I would be upset and be punishing myself like, oh yeah, you can't do it right, blah, blah, blah. And the thoughts would go on, right? So luckily I noticed it, and it was probably only because I happened to be meditating. I noticed it and I'm like, nope, you're not going to do this today. You're not going to do this to yourself. That's not going to make you feel better. And the funny thing is, my sister did the same exact thing on the same exact day, only she went and weighed herself. So it's like we fight these battles. We have this inner punishment thing, right? Where we actually try to punish ourselves or hurt ourselves, which is just crazy. And it's not like we're intentionally trying to do it, but these are the things you notice if you're trying to step back a little bit and pay attention to what you're actually thinking. But you are not a victim. You can get through hard things. You can for sure do hard things. So previously, Marissa Nielsen was on the Ordinary to Badass podcast, and she had an incredible life story. I wish I remembered the podcast number. I should. So I could refer you to go back to it. But she grew up in a trailer park, and now she's like a multimillionaire, total badass. But her mom always told her, Marissa, you can be a victim or you can be a victor. And so that always stuck with her. She always thought like, I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim. I can do this. And so that mindset helped her get through. You can be a victim or you can be a victor. So let go of the victim mentality. Are there certain areas in your life where you tend to feel like you're like, poor me? Why is this happening to me? This sucks, right? Look at that. Then try to flip it. Try to look at what the benefit is. You going through that, how could that possibly be good for you in the long run, 10 years from now? What could you possibly think about it that would be good, right? Because you're building up here, right? You're building up for something big. You are a badass. You can do hard things. You can unshackle the chains of limitation, just like Alison Rothman did. So quick recap here, 3 reasons why Alison Rothman is so badass. Number 1 is for the person she connects with during challenging times. Number 2 is for letting go of the personal stories. And number 3 is for unshackling the chains of limitation. Okay, so good. I enjoyed talking to you guys today. Make sure if you're at all interested, if you want to up level before 2024, head on over to ordinarytobadass.com/coaching. Get in on this call on Friday. It's going to be epic. And with that, we'll end the show. Tell the badass women in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future Spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.